Okay, shalom everyone, good evening.
Shalom.
Welcome to the Rabbi's class this week, Parashat Yitro. So please open the Chumashim. We'll start kind of at the end of the Parasha in a way. Parashat Yitro, of course, the main topic of the Parasha is the giving of the Torah, the 10 Commandments, the giving of the Torah. And it is very, very complicated what happened before, during, and after this giving of the Torah. We see that the verses are really quite complicated. So hopefully you're all going to bear with me and the different verses and the jumping around, and we'll try at the end to give it kind of I think, absolutely an incredible idea. When I learned it, it was like really eye-opening. So we'll go through quite a few questions until we try to put everything together. So we'll start at the end on page 412, 413, as we kind of finishing already. And again, I assume you all know the 10 Commandments, but what we don't know, and we'll read it after more in details, is exactly the sequence. So let's start from the end and see an interesting question here. All right, so page 412, 413 from verse 15. Mike, please read for us.
The entire people saw the thunder and the flames, the sound of the shofar and the smoking mountain. The people saw and trembled and stood from afar. They said to Moshe Rabbeinu, "You speak to us and we shall hear. Let Hashem not speak to us lest we die." Moshe Rabbeinu said to the people, "Do not fear, for in order to elevate you has Hashem come, so that awe of him shall be upon your faces, so that you shall not sin." The people stood from afar, and Moshe Rabbeinu approached the thick cloud where Hashem was.
Okay, let's stop here for a second. And what is the claim of the people here? Already, what? This is after the 10 Commandments, yeah? The people already saw the thunder and the flame, yeah? Mm-hmm. And the people are in what situation?
They were scared.
They are scared. Very good. Yes. So what are they saying to Moshe?
Let Hashem not speak to us, lest we die.
Lest we die. Mm. What would you expect then for Moshe Rabbeinu to say? I mean, stop the verse 17. What do you want to say? Don't worry. Why?
I'll talk to him.
I'll talk to him.
No, it's over. We already had the 10 Commandments. What are you worried about?
No, they want him as a leader.
It's done, right? You would think Moshe would say, you know what? I understand. The entire event was very scary, right? We'll see exactly how much it was scary. But now it's done. Why are you scared? Instead of that, what Moshe is saying, don't be afraid, don't be scared, don't be in awe, yeah? Hashem is going to try you, yeah? I don't understand the answer. What's going on here? You see that? What does it help to the people? They already saw everything. It's already been heard. Yeah? Perhaps we can say simply that the next parasha is what? Parashat Mishpatim, when we still have the whole, all the commandments between men and the society, etc. Maybe there are another 603 commandments. Okay, it's enough with the 10. Let's wait for the other 613. You do it instead of us. But also, that's not the answer of Moshe. Moshe says, don't worry. Hashem is just testing you. So you have the fear of the sin. So you know always in your head, Hashem is in front of you and you have the fear of heaven. Very strange.
Are they scared of prophecy?
They are scared of prophecy?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, they're asking not Hashem to talk to them. They ask.
Yes, are they scared to be tested? It's one thing to receive it. It's another thing to be tested.
But again, I mean, the claim here, please speak to us and we'll listen.
No.
Go again.
Here.
15.
Now here it says, do not fear, for in order to elevate you has Hashem come.
All right, but I mean, the claim, this is the answer already of Moshe. They claim, we don't want to hear God, we want to hear you. Yeah? And we'll listen. Look at verse 16. They said to Moses, you speak to us and we shall hear. They're not saying, we're not going to take it. We're not going to follow the commandments anymore. We're saying, speak to us, you instead of God. All right, let's compare this quickly to, as you know, the giving of the Torah appears twice in the Torah. The other time is in Parashat Va'etchanan, in the book of Devarim. And we're talking about chapter 5 in the book of Devarim. Chapter 5. We're talking about verse 19, page 971. Page 971. Also, now this is a description, as you remember, we discussed that in previous years, that Moshe Rabbeinu is repeating the major events that happened in the desert. At the end of his time, at the end of the 40th year, before the people are entering the land of Israel, there's another covenant. He renewed the covenant here, reminding them what happened on Mount Sinai. They're now at the foot of, about to enter the land of Israel, but he kind of reliving them the moment of the giving of the Torah. Yes? You all with me? Great. Let's see the description here in page 971, verse 19. Yes? Mike, you want to go on?
These words Hashem spoke to your entire congregation on the mountain, from the midst of the fire, the cloud, and the thick cloud. A great voice, never to be repeated. And he inscribed them on 2 stone tablets and gave them to me.
Okay, so there was once off event in the history that God spoke to you, never again. Yeah? And then what?
It happened that when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness and the mountain was burning in fire, that you, all the heads of your tribes and your elders, approached me. You said, behold, Hashem our God has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. This day we saw that Hashem will speak to a person and he can live. But now, why should we die when this great fire consumes us? If we continue to hear the voice of Hashem, our God, any longer, we will die.
All right, so here we a little bit more hearing what happened there. Yes? So everybody come closer to Moshe and saying to them, listen, we hear the voice of God, and we see that Hashem can speak to the people and still remain alive. But we are still very scared that this fire can consume us and we might die. Yeah? Instead of what? Let's go on. Verse 23. 22. We finished 22?
Yeah.
Yeah? So 23.
Or is there any human that has heard the voice of the living God speaking from the midst of the fire as we have and lived?
Right, go on.
You
now,
should approach
24, yeah.
and hear whatever Hashem, our God, will say, and you should speak to us whatever Hashem, our God, will speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then we shall hear and we shall do.
Okay, and look here. We don't see what Moshe's answer is, but rather we see that what Hashem is saying to Moshe to speak to them. That's the difference here. Verse 25. Are you all with me? I know it's going to be a little bit complicated, so keep your head with me. Yeah, I'm not sure I get it right, but we'll try our best.
You'll be great.
Yes, 25.
If you don't, we're all in trouble.
At least you know there's a problem. That's halfway through. Right, 25. Hashem heard.
Somebody else.
Hashem heard the sound of your words when you spoke to me, and Hashem said to me, I heard the sound of the words of this people that they have spoken to you. They did well in all that they spoke.
Amazing answer of Hashem. It's like Hashem is giving them a bar mitzvah speech. You did so well, guys. Really amazing. Mazel tov. You did so well. What is this answer?
Oh.
Yeah, really, what? The people did so well. So means that Moshe Rabbeinu had something else in mind, right? Because we see here, this is a different answer. Moshe Rabbeinu's answer in our parasha, this is a test for you. Don't be afraid. Yeah, this is for you to elevate you spiritually. And here we say, Hashem, you know what? It's okay. They're pretty good. They did well. Shkoyach, right? Yeah. Okay. Meet and go see 26.
Yeah. Who can assure that this heart should remain theirs to fear me and observe all my commandments all the days, so that it should be good for them and for their children.
Literally,
forever.
after a bar mitzvah boy finish, may you continue to go from strength to strength, and this will, be your all the rest of your lives. Fantastic. What's that?
Come to shul.
And it's a miracle if it comes. Right. So this is again quite difficult, because it's a different answer that we see here. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Let's go and see something else. All right. After that, sorry. Okay. 28 gives us a little bit of what we tried to say before.
Go say.
But as for you, sorry. No.
Go say to them, return to your tent.
Okay, no. Hashem says to Moshe, speak to the Israelites. You did well. Go now home. You stay with me. Yeah.
But as for you, stand here with me.
Yeah.
And I shall speak to you the entire commandment and the decrees and the ordinances that you shall teach them, and they shall perform in the land that I have given them to possess.
So this is kind of the clue we tried to say before. Perhaps the people of Israel didn't want Moshe or Hashem to say all the commandments, the decrees that will follow in Parashat Mishpatim, and once they've heard the 10 commandments, it's over. But again, it seems from the text in our parasha that they're talking after everything was finished. Yeah? It's not, and from the answer of Moshe, we see a different answer that Hashem said to him in Parashat Vayetchanan. You see that contradiction?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Right. Okay, let's go back to stay in the beginning of chapter 9 and chapter 5 in page 969. Yeah, and another description of what happened before the giving of the Torah. How amazing was this kind of encounter between the people and Hashem?
Which was
beginning of the chapter, a few verses.
Moses called all of Israel and said to them, "Hear, O Israel, the decrees and the ordinances that I speak in your ears today. Learn them and be careful to perform them. Hashem, our God, sealed a covenant with us at Horeb. Not with our fathers did Hashem seal this covenant, but with us. We who are here, all of us alive today. Face to face did Hashem speak with you on the mountain from amid the fire. I was standing between Hashem and you at that time to relate the word of Hashem to you, for you were afraid of the fire and you did not ascend the mountain, saying, I am Hashem, your God, who has..."
Once again? Yeah? Just finish at 6, yeah?
Yeah.
Before that. So what do we see number 4? In what way Hashem spoke to the people?
Face
to face. Panim befanim. That's kind of a really incredible encounter. Yeah? But verse 5 says, who is standing between them? They're actually not seeing Hashem face to face. Moshe is standing in between, right? I was standing between Hashem and you that time to relay the word of Hashem to you. So is it panim befanim? Was it face to face?
Like
or Moshe Rabbeinu was
acting as a face.
In a kind of a messenger?
Yeah.
The voice of Hashem coming to the people. And they maybe seeing the voices and hearing the sounds, all what is described in the Torah. Again, very, very complicated to try to find out what exactly was the happening there. Really, really difficult. Okay, look back to our Pasha in page 400 and 412. Yeah. Sorry, in page Yutet 19. Yeah. It's Alex here. Look at this. Now we'll try and analyze what happened in Parashat Yitro before the giving of the Torah. So page 404. Alex, how are you? We need to give him a kippah.
I'll get them.
Okay, at the corner, Sarah, behind you, there's a... Yeah?
Comment ça va?
Bonjour. Au revoir. What do we say?
Au revoir is goodbye. Bonsoir.
Something.
Bonsoir.
Thank you.
Baguette. What else can we say?
Poisson.
No, it's fish.
Je m'appelle Amir.
Yeah,
You know,
nice.
Jai, Indian. Jai, 25 years old. Etudiant.
Okay, we don't need a long story.
No, you must say Hong
Darling, you
Kong.
need a place to write, no? Okay. So Alex, so we try to understand what happened in the sequence of the giving of the Torah. So join us on page 405 at the moment. 405. Yeah?
You want me to read?
And let's give someone else. Sophia or Esther. Do you want some whiskey or
No,
fish?
Thank you so much.
No? Okay.
Which number?
405.
405. Yeah?
Which number? The 13?
Number 9. Which
12.
number I want to read?
12,
1 second. No, number 20. Let's read from number 20. Let's see. We'll see there's a lot of kind of Moses ascending, descending from the mountain, coming back and forth, so to speak, from the mountain. And at one stage, he goes down. This is, 405, verse 20. Yeah?
Hashem descend upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain.
Yes.
Hashem summoned
Summon,
Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses and Moshe ascended. Hashem said to Moshe, "Descend, warn the people, lest they break through to Hashem to see, and a multitude of them will fall. Even the Kohanim who approach Hashem should be prepared, lest Hashem burst forth against them." Moshe said to Hashem, "The people cannot ascend Mount Sinai, for you have warned us, saying, bound the mountain and sanctified it."
What's going on here? It's very, look at this.
It's in the mountain.
It's very strange. Yes? It's like he's arguing with Hashem in a way. Yeah?
Yeah.
Hashem says to Moshe, tell the people what? To what? Not to break through, right? To keep distance from the mountain. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
And he told them, the Kohanim, they should be prepared, right? And then Moshe says, I don't understand. Look at number 23. Moses said to Hashem, read again, the people cannot ascend Mount Sinai, for you have warned us, saying, bound the mountain and sanctify. Where was that given already? Right? Where was this commandment that the people should not go?
The beginning of the giving of the king.
Oh, that's next.
What?
Yes.
In number, look at this. Go back to 403.
$405.
403. Sorry, the top of 405.
Verse 14 to 15.
Let's start at the bottom of 403. Let's say it from there. Hashem says to Moses, you see, for the bottom of 403, verse 10. Hashem says to Moses,
Hashem says to Moses, "Go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and they shall." Yes.
Yeah, and they shall
and
wash.
they shall wash their clothing.
Yeah.
Let them be prepared for the third day. On the third day, Hashem shall descend in the sign of the entire people of Mount Sinai. You shall set boundaries for the people round about, saying, "Beware of ascending the mountain or touching its edge. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely die.
Right.
A hand shall not touch it, for he shall surely be stoned or thrown down."
That's very clear. Let's go now to the bottom again, to number 20. And 21 at the bottom of 405. Hashem says to Moses, what?
Hashem said, the same were the people, lest they break through to Hashem to see, and a multitude of them will fall. Even the Kohanim who approach Hashem should be prepared, lest Hashem burst forth against them.
When Moshe says, but you already told us that you are limited, yes? Look at number 20.
But does he change his
23.
mind?
What?
Does he change his mind?
Who?
Hashem?
Why?
Because he said, don't climb and don't touch it.
So Hashem is like emphasizing, and Moshe is a bit confused here, right? Look at number 23. What does it say?
Moshe said to Hashem, the people cannot ascend Mount Sinai, for you have warned us, saying,
It's like
found the
saying,
mountain and sanctified it. Hashem said to him, go, descend, then you shall ascend.
It's like Moshe Rabbeinu kind of believing in the people, because we told them already, you should be aware, be far from the mountain, don't touch the mountain. But Hashem kind of saying, you know what? Warn them again and again, because it's tricky.
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah.
I mean, we read this every time, million times, and it's actually very complicated to understand what's happening here, right? So, was this commandment before or after? Moshe Rabbeinu is trying to say, no, the people will listen. Hashem says, no, the people won't listen. Go down again and again, and warn them not to touch. Yeah? Okay, let's do a little stop here, because I want to show you something else interesting, which will be kind of connecting after that. Last week we read in the Haftarah the story of Dvorah. Yeah? Look at page 1153. The Haftarah of Beshalar. In chapter 4, in the beginning of chapter 4, page 1153. Sorry, 1152. It's the English and the Hebrew is in the same page here. In the Haftarah. Yeah? Estelle, read for us the first verse.
Deborah was a prophetess, a fiery woman. She was the judge of Israel at that time.
Okay, so this is already an interesting translation, because the prophet actually says, or in the book, Isha Neviah Eshet Lapidot, a wife of Lapidot. Not just they translated it as Lapid, as a fire. She was a fiery woman, already in a translation. But actually, basically, the verse says, Dvorah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidot. Yeah? She was judging Israel, blah, blah, blah. And interestingly, the rabbi is saying that later on, who is she calling to help her with the war? You know, everyone knows the story of Judges, that Dvorah fought against Sisera. Yeah? Who is the man to lead to the battle? Who is it? Barak. Correct. And look at this. Like after that, she says Barak. Yeah? Verse 6. She sent to summon Estelle. She sent to summon Barak.
She sent to summon Barak, son of Abinadab.
Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Yeah?
Or Ehud Barak.
Ehud Barak. Correct. Yeah.
Of Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, has not Hashem the God of Israel commanded, go and draw towards Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men from the children of Naphtali and from the children of Zebulun, and to Kishon Brook.
All right, so she summoned Barak. The rabbis says that basically Barak was her husband. Lapidot is Barak. Yeah? Why is that? Maybe in terms of modesty. I mean, we don't see any other couple in the whole Tanakh that actually fought in that way. That the woman was a judge, a prophetess, and then another man working with her closely, leading the people into a war, into a complete defeat, yeah, against one of the greatest, armies back in the days, the army of Canaan, the strongest empire, right? So maybe in terms of modesty, they realize Barak must be Lapidot, yeah. But before we see actually how the rabbis connected that to something else, let's see in the song, what was the environment? What's going on here? Look at this. And chapter 5, tells us what was the atmosphere of that war. Yeah? After the defeat against Canaan, this is the song of Torah, hence this is the Haftarah of the song of by the sea, of Parashat Beshalach we read last week. Look at this, let's start reading the song.
Shall I read?
Yeah, sure.
On that day, Deborah and Barak, son of
Deborah.
Absalom, said-
Deborah.
Deborah. May the God
Deb and Barak.
Hashem wreaks vengeance against Israel, or the people dedicate themselves to him. Bless Hashem. Hear, O kings, give ear, O princes. I, to Hashem shall I sing. I shall sing praise to Hashem, God of Israel.
Okay, look carefully on verse 4 and 5. 4 and 5.
Hashem, as you left Seir, as you strode from the field of Edom, the earth quaked and even the heavens trickled, even the clouds dripped water. The mountains trembled before Hashem. This was Sinai, before Hashem.
What is this description here? The battle against Sisera compared to what? To Sinai. How is that possible? Right? Let's go back to Parashat Yitro, in our parasha, and look at this into two verses. Verse in page 405, yeah? Verse 16 and 17. Let's start 16.
And on the third day, when it was morning, there was thunder and lightning and a heavy cloud on the mountain, and the sound of the shofar was very powerful, and the entire people that was in the camp shuddered. Moshe brought the people forth from the camp towards Hashem, and they stood at the bottom of the mountain. All of Mount Sinai was smoking because Hashem had descended upon them in the fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of the furnace, and the entire mountain shuddered exceedingly. The sound of the shofar grew continually much stronger. Moshe would speak, and God would respond to him with a voice. Hashem descended upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain. Hashem summoned Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe ascended.
Okay, let's stop here for a second, and let's see how this description of what was there in verse 16. Yeah. What do we see there? Yeah. What do we see?
Thunder, lightning, heavy clouds.
Yeah.
Shofar.
Yes. All
They
right.
stood at the bottom of the mountain.
Full of action.
Full of action.
And smoking.
Okay. Let's compare this one to verse in page 413. So what do we see again? Let's see, but all the page 405 and page 413. We compare now verse 16 to verse 15 in page 413. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's start again on 405. What do we see? We see voices. We hear voices and
Thunder, lightning,
yeah,
shofar,
and heavy cloud.
and the
Right.
kingdom.
After that, look at this on page 413. What do we see?
Do something.
Thunder, flames,
And
shofar, smoking mountain.
what is the difference here?
Smoking mountain.
No.
Flames.
Flames compared to thunder and lightning. What is the word in Hebrew for a lightning? Barakim. Kolot uvrakim. Barak.
Barak.
And what is the description here of the flame? It's called lapidim. Here you go. Barak and lapidot is basically the same. Right? This is hence why the rabbis said that Barak was actually her husband, Deborah's husband. Yeah? But actually what we see from here, all these voices and lightning and everything, the description of Deborah, that this is Mount Sinai. Basically Mount Sinai was like a war zone, like a battleground. The voices, the lightning. It's a very scary place at the moment. Yeah? No question that the people are very scared. Yeah? The people don't want Hashem to speak to them. They are like, if Dvorah can compare the battle of Canaan, the battle of Sisera, to what happened in Mount Sinai, means we are actually talking about a battleground. Interesting, isn't it? Now, let's see a few other differences before we're trying to put everything together, because, as I said, really confusing. Not until you read those verses, you realize how complicated the entire chapter is. Okay? Let's see chapter 19. Back to Parashat Yitro. Chapter 19. We are on page 405. Chapter 19, verse 17. Yes?
On 405.
405, correct. Shirley or Sarah, you want to read?
Which one?
19. 405.
The sound of the shofar grew continually much stronger. Moses would speak and God would respond to him with a voice. Hashem descended upon Mount Sinai, to the top of the mountain. Hashem.
Oh, sorry, which verse are you reading?
20.
No, sorry, I said 17.
Sorry.
405, 17. Just the one. Yeah?
Moses brought the people forth from the camp towards God, and they stood at the bottom of the mountain.
Okay, stop here. When you read the people stood at the bottom of the mountain, before we know even about the drosh that they stood at the foot of the mountain, that Hashem actually forced the mountain on them, so they cannot actually choose and they had to accept the mitzvot. We're not going there. The simple text, when I say, or someone says, you stand in at the foot of the mountain, are you touching the mountain or are you far away from the mountain?
Close, but not necessarily touching.
Now, why not? If you're at the foot of the mountain, you basically must be at the bottom of the mountain. You're touching the mountain, right? Yes? But how's that then sits with the obligation of what? Again, at the top of the page 405, verse 12.
You shouldn't touch them.
You shouldn't touch the mountain. So how's the people standing at the bottom of the mountain? Unless the Torah would tell us that the people stood around the mountain. That would make more sense. But the Torah actually says, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. The tachtita. Yeah? What's the translation here exactly? Yeah?
They stood at the bottom of
the bottom of the mountain, even more. At the bottom of the mountain, there's no other way to say that the people actually wouldn't touch. Yes? So how is that fits with the commandment? They have to stay far away. And remember, Hashem says to Moshe, you need to warn them a few times about this because it's really dangerous. Yes? Right? Interesting. Okay. Another one. Let's see another complicated verse. Look at the top of the page 405, verse 14. Yeah? Okay. Before that, let's see the bottom of 403 again, verse 11. I know it's really complicated, but just bear with me. We'll try to put everything soon together. Right. Let the people.
Let them be prepared for the third day.
Yeah.
On the third day, Hashem shall descend in the sight of the entire people on Mount Sinai.
Yes.
You shall set boundaries for the people round about, saying, beware of ascending the mountain or touching its edge. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely die.
Right.
A hand shall not touch it, for he shall surely be stoned or thrown down.
Okay, stop here. What are the commandments that Hashem says to Moshe to tell the people? Look again. Before that even, before not touching.
Boundaries.
You have to prepare for the third day, right? No, not yet. What Hashem says. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. Look at verse 10. Is actually we need to start from verse 10. Hashem says to Moshe, look at verse 10. Hashem says to Moses, go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow. And they shall wash their, wash their clothes, right? And then prepare for the third day, and then don't touch. Look at verse 14. Now read verse 14. Moshe Rabbeinu descended from the mountain. Moses descended from the mountain. Sarah.
He sanctified the people and they washed their clothing.
Cool. And then he says,
Be prepared after a 3-day period. Do not draw near a woman.
Where is that coming from?
Out of the blue.
Where is that? Don't come close to your wives. Where is that coming from? Again, the commandments were wash your clothes, prepare for the 3rd day, don't touch the mountain. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes down to the mountain, comes off the mountain, sanctify the people, wash their clothes, and pop,
Something new.
something new come up. Don't go closer to your wife.
Because they haven't had a mikveh yet.
But is it something new? He came up with that? Where Hashem commanded that to him to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Amazing, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay, let's go back another page. Page 401.
Mm-hmm.
Stop when you want me to start saying the answers, otherwise I can keep on raising questions.
Mm.
Right. The 401, beginning of chapter 12. Yes, let's read the beginning. Sorry, 19, chapter 19. Sarah, read the beginning.
In the 3rd month from the exodus of the children of Israel from Egypt, on this day they arrived at the wilderness of Sinai.
Mm.
They journeyed from Rephidim and arrived at the wilderness of Sinai and encamped in the wilderness. And Israel encamped there opposite the mountain.
So far, so good. Fantastic. Look at verse 3.
Moses ascended to God, and Hashem called to him from the mountain, saying, So shall you say to the house of Jacob, and relate to the children of Israel.
Where is he ascending from? Who's told him to ascend? Let's compare that to another verse. Every time that Moshe ascending or descending, Hashem actually told him before to do that. And suddenly here in verse 3, Moshe is ascending. Hashem did not call him up, according to the verse. Yeah? Moshe ascend, right? Look at this, look at verse, I'll give you an example. Look, go to page 404. And at the bottom, 405, sorry. Hashem says to Moses at the bottom, descend. Okay? Descend. And then on page 407, verse 24, go descend. There's always a commandment before ascending or descending. And suddenly here, in the beginning, we see that Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu is ascending. Very strange, right? Okay, another very strange thing. Let's read this. Page 405. It's really, really, really complicated. And again, we are so familiar with this reading on Yitro and on Shavuot that we don't pay attention to the complication here in those verses. Look at verse 19. Look at verse 19, 405, verse 19. Let's read this again.
The sound of the shofar grew continually, much stronger. Moshe would speak, and God would respond.
What would you, if we stop here, what would you expect now? Moshe is what? Moses would speak, and God would respond to him with a voice. What should come now then? What is the voice that's coming up from God?
Commandment.
The commandment. Very good. You would expect that after this verse should be, Vaydaber Elohim, go to page 417. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I'm Hashem your God. And suddenly then there's, okay, Moshe Rabbeinu is coming down. Look at verse 20. This doesn't make any sense. Moshe Daber, Moses spoke and Hashem responded in his voice. And then suddenly on verse 20, Vayered Hashem el Har Sinai, read verse 20.
Hashem descended upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain.
And Moshe's up again. This is like, what is this exercise?
He descended to the top of the mountain.
Yes.
Is this where we get the upside down mountain from?
What?
Yes, I want
Is this where we get the midrash about the upside down?
No, the upside
mountain?
down, it's not it's about they stood at the foot of the mountain.
Because you descend to the top. So you can do that if the mountain is upside down over a bunch of people.
Yeah,
No. That midrash is on Betachtit Sa'ar, on verse 18. What we said before, that it seems like they are touching the mountain if they stood on the foot of the mountain. The rabbis saying because of this contradiction they are not allowed to touch the mountain, so how they stood in the foot of the mountain, it's an allegory that, so to speak, the mountain came upon them and forced them to accept the mitzvot. Yes?
Yeah.
Although we know they say Na'aseh v'nishma, we'll hear and we'll do.
Okay, so what does this mean? Descend to the top of the mountain.
Hashem descended upon Mount Sinai. Hashem himself
'Cause
came
he's
down
so
to the
much
mountain.
higher. Okay.
Hashem is in the
I
highs.
see.
Hashem descended.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then Moshe is up again. But again,
Always
but already in verse 19, Moshe is speaking from the voice of God. So what is this ascending, descending again? Yes? What do you think? Very complicated.
I don't know, I'm confused.
Right, I am also. It's really confusing. I'm happy is that the feeling you have because it's coming. Okay? Okay, another, maybe last one. Look at verse 407, page 417, just before the Ten Commandments. Again, another one, verse 25. Yes?
You shall not ascend my altar.
Sorry,
No.
407.
25.
Sorry.
Yes?
Not 17.
No.
20.
25.
One
407
second,
verse
I'm also
25.
confused.
It's just above 20.
Yeah? Right?
Moses descended, Moshe descended to the people and
God spoke all these statements.
No.
Yeah.
Is it right about that?
It's the last
Says
line
Moshe
before.
Moshe descended to the people,
Yes.
Yes? And
said to them,
said to them, and then the beginning of next chapter.
God spoke all these statements, saying,
So, Moshe spoke, Hashem spoke, who spoke? You see?
Yeah.
The contradiction between 25 and the beginning of chapter 20?
yes.
Yes? Where Moshe ascended to the people and spoke to them. But now, by the Ber Elohim, God spoke all the statements saying.
No, but still Hashem is still talking to Moshe and Moshe keep talking to people.
Okay? Yeah?
Not
Right? Look at this. Page 403. Page 403, verse 6. Also, another verse that you would expect that maybe after this, the Ten Commandments will come straight after. 403, verse 6. Jules?
You shall be to me a kingdom of ministers and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the children of Israel.
And then what happened next?
Moshe came and summoned the elders of the people and put before them all these words that Hashem had commanded.
And again, it's like, okay, after this verse 7, I would expect, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I'm Hashem your God. Instead, another
The
set of...
entire people responded again and said, everything that Hashem has spoken, we shall do.
Okay, so this is probably one of the most complicated chapters in the Torah, and perhaps for a reason. Yeah, we'll try now to basically to see that actually there are two parallels stories here. Yeah, and the Torah on purpose made them intertwined. Yeah, look at this. There is the giving of the Torah in Midat Elohim, when the name of Elohim, yeah, God, appears, and there is a different story when the name Havaya, when Hashem is giving the commandments. Look at this; it's really, really, really interesting. Yeah, completely two different descriptions of the giving of the Torah in two different attributes of God. Really, really interesting. Let's try to open it slowly, maybe as much as we can. Yeah. All right. Look at this. When we said in chapter, let's go for page 401. Now we'll try from the beginning to the end. Page 401. We said on verse 19 that. On chapter 19, verse 3. Yes. Moses ascended to God. Yes.
Hashem called to him from the mountain, saying.
Okay. So actually, we need to divide this verse. Moses ascended to God, but then Hashem spoke to him from the mountain. When Moses ascending to God, this is a start of
Communication.
a very interesting communication with God, with Elohim. Not with Hashem. When basically Moshe himself expecting the people to be in that high level of Midat Adin, of the judgment attribute. Let's see how it works. Okay?
Like to be ready to receive the Torah.
Yeah. So Moshe ascended to God. The continuation of that would be in verse 14. Look at verse 14. Yeah? Remember, we had how is Moshe Rabbeinu suddenly giving a new commandment? You should not come closer to your wives. Yes? Yes? This is the continuation in verse 14. Moses ascended to God. Moses himself felt very close to God. He wants the people to be with him. So what does he say to the people? Again, that's not a commandment from God. He actually brought it up. What did he say? In verse
the people, he sanctified people.
Yes.
And they washed their clothing.
And 15, sorry.
He said to the people, be prepared after a 3-day period.
In this level of Kedusha, of holiness of God, Moses himself adding another commandment. If you want to be that close to God, you should also separate yourself now from your wives. So you keep your purity in a higher level. Right? From there, yeah? And from there, look at this. From there, we're going to verse 17.
Sorry, I think it's just worth interjecting for anyone who doesn't know. In terms of separating from your wives, it's not the wives themselves that are the source of any lower holiness. It's that by having relations with their wives,
I hope everybody understood that. There's nothing against
if seed was spilled, that's a brush with death. Any potential lost life that doesn't come to fruition is like a brush with death. And so in Judaism, that is always.
Moshe Rabbeinu was constantly ready to speak to God. This is hence why Miriam complained about Zipporah. That Moshe Rabbeinu was constantly separated from him because he was ready anytime that Hashem will speak to him. So actually he had to be away from his wife all the time. Miriam felt this is wrong because she was also a prophet. She could maintain that relationship without being separated from her husband all the time. Moshe Rabbeinu was in a different level. Moshe Rabbeinu was in a different level. Here, he wants the people actually to be aspired to kind of his high level. Then what does it say? The continuation is actually in verse 17. Yes? What's 17?
The people forth from the camp toward Hashem, and they stood at the bottom of the mountain.
They stood at the bottom of the mountain. Here, there's no need of that separation from the mountain. Don't touch, don't touch. Here, actually, he wants them as close as possible. As close as possible to the attribute of God. Really, really interesting. Yeah? Right?
All of Mount Sinai was smoking.
Yes.
Because Hashem had descended upon it in the fire. Smoke ascended like the smoke.
No. The continuation is not number 18 now. The continuation is actually number 20.
Like 20.
Yes.
Hashem descended upon Mount Sinai to the top.
No. Sorry, 19. My mistake.
19.
Yeah.
The sound of the shofar grew continually much stronger. Moshe would speak.
And God, Elohim Yanenu Bekol. When we actually see Hashem, it's a different story. Now we focus wherever it says God, Elohim. Right? Elohim. So now, the people are extra holy. They are separated from their wives. They are standing at the foot of the mountain. Moshe medaber, Moses speaking, and God answering in his voice. Right? Then what did you say here? What should come after that? Remember we asked about this verse. What should come after this? After a verse that says, Moses, the giving of the commandments. What is the continuation here? Would be already in 407, yeah? Chapter 20, verse 1. וידבר אלוהים את כל הדברים האלה לאמור. Now, God is speaking to the people. All right? This is one way. Let's see the other way. Right? The other way is on the attribute of Havaya, the attribute of kind of more mercy, kind more of down to earth. Where is the actual, where is the people are actually standing? figuratively, not on the mountain, but their place after leaving Egypt. They're not ready yet to see Hashem. They're scared. Yeah? So what Hashem is saying to the people, look at this. Remember, we divided verse 3. Let's go back to page 401. As we said, verse 3 on 401, yeah? First one becoming God, and then Vaikra Hashem. Now Hashem spoke to the people, spoke to us from the mountain, yeah? Look at this. Let's read the middle of verse 3. Jules, continue.
Moses ascended to
God, and now Hashem. Now this is what we
and
looking
Hashem
at.
called to him from the mountain,
Yes?
saying,
Go.
So shall you say to the house of Jacob and relate to the children of Israel.
Yeah?
You have seen what I did to Egypt, and that I have borne you on the wings of eagles and brought you to me. And now, if you hearken well to me and observe my covenant, you shall be to me the most beloved treasures of all peoples.
Good.
Mine
Go
is
on.
the entire world.
Yeah?
You shall be to me a kingdom of ministers and holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the children of Israel.
Yeah?
Moses came and summoned the elders of the people and put before them all these words that Hashem
Hashem has commanded him. Go on, yeah?
The entire people responded together and said, everything that Hashem has spoken, we shall do.
This is in much more of down-to-earth, more kind way, so to speak, that Hashem is about to speak to the people. Yeah? Let's see.
Moses brought back the words of the people to Hashem.
To Hashem. And Hashem, look, 9.
Hashem said to Moses, behold, I come to you in the thickness of the cloud,
Yeah.
so that the people will hear as I speak to you,
Yeah.
and they will also believe in you forever.
Correct.
Moses related the words of the people to Hashem.
Good. Go on. Number
Hashem
10.
said to Moses,
Hashem says to Moses, yes?
go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow,
Yeah.
and they shall wash their clothing.
They need much more preparation for that. Yes? But Hashem understands the people can't just jump like that and be close to God.
Yeah.
There is a preparation. Moses wanted them to be close to God, stand on the foot of the mountain. Hashem says, no. Hashem says, you need to prepare, right? Don't come close to the mountain. Go, verse 12. Yeah? 11, 12, yeah?
Then we prepared for the third day. For on the third day,
Yeah?
Hashem
Hashem.
shall descend in the sight of the entire people on Mount Sinai.
Good. Go
You
on.
shall set boundaries for the people round about, saying, because of ascending the mountain or touching its edge, whoever touches the mountain shall surely die. Hand shall not touch it, or he shall surely be stoned or thrown down. Whether animal or person, he shall not live.
Okay. Now, we said verse
19.
now, verse 14 still related to that.
Moses descended from the mountain to the people. He sanctified the people and they washed their
That's
clothes.
still the commandment that Hashem told him to say to the people. We jump from here, yeah? We jump from here to number 18.
18.
Yeah?
All of Mount Sinai was smoking because Hashem had descended upon it in the fire.
Yeah?
Smoke ascended like the smoke of the furnace,
Yeah?
and the entire mountain shuddered exceedingly.
Okay, who is now shattered? Who is now very scared?
The people.
Not the people.
The mountain.
The mountain. What is that? Look at verse 16. Yeah, we might miss that on when we read about Elohim. Verse 16 before that, what happened here?
On the third day,
Yeah.
when it was morning,
Yeah,
there was a thunder and
Yeah.
lightning
Yeah.
and a heavy cloud on the mountain.
right.
And the sound of the shofar was very powerful.
And
And the entire people that was in the camp shuddered.
the people,
People.
when it's Elohim, when there are the thunders and all the voices, and as we said, the description of a war, the people are trembling. But when it's in the attribute of Hashem, always a trembling to the mountain. Therefore, you should not touch the mountain. You should be away from the mountain. You see? It's absolutely a different story here. And then what we go, and we continue from there to verse 20, still with the attribute of Hashem. Verse 20.
Hashem descended upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain. Hashem summoned Moses to the top of the mountain. And Moses
Again, so many up and down here. It's kind of, the preparation is much, much slower. The preparation is kind of to fit into the place of the people. Yeah? They can't just burst into the mountain. Yeah? Moshe Rabbeinu needs to come down, talk to them, come up, talk to them. There's a different relationship. What? It's a shidduch. What the people say, the people come, okay, we accept that. It goes back to Hashem. The people accepted. You know, this is a different relationship. 21.
Hashem said to Moses, "Descend, warn the people lest they break through to Hashem to see and the multitude."
We ask why Hashem is keep on asking. Don't do that. Already, no. Because the people needs constant reminders. They are not ready. They need constant reminder in this Havaya, in this Hashem giving of the Torah, not Elokim. You see that? Yes?
It's like a parent and child. The child goes near electricity, the parent will tell the child often, don't go near, don't put your fingers in.
Yeah. Okay, go to 24. Oh, 23. Sorry, where are we? Again, the name of Hashem is William. When you suddenly open this, you can see the difference. When is Elohim and when is Hashem? It's you can't unread it now. Yeah, 22, 23.
Even the Kohanim who approach Hashem should be prepared, lest Hashem burst forth against them.
Right. There's no jumping. Even the Kohanim needs the preparation. Right? Yeah.
Moses said to Hashem, "The people cannot ascend Mount Sinai, for you have warned us, saying, bound the mountain and sanctify it."
Moshe is maybe still trying here. Maybe the people can do that. Maybe the people are ready. Hashem says, no, the people are not ready in this way. Yeah? Again.
What does bound the mountain?
Bound the mountain means go back around the mountain. Don't touch the mountain. Yes? But again, the contradiction of standing in the foot of the mountain is obvious. Because you can't stand in the foot of the mountain without touching the mountain. But on this way, they are actually quite far. They need to go around and stay away. Yeah? Verse 24.
Hashem said to him, "Go descend, then you shall ascend, and Aaron with you. But the Kohanim and the people, they shall not break through to ascend to Hashem.
Yeah?
Lest he burst forth against them."
And then what? 25.
Moses descended to the people and
said to them. Now it's actually in this way, Moses is speaking to the people. They don't hear God themselves. They're not ready to hear Hashem. Right? They need Moshe to be the communicator, to give it in his voice, not Hashem. Okay, let's see now something really interesting. Except of 2 commandments, yeah? How do we go back to the first question? Remember the first question after all the questions you forgot? 413, yeah? In 413, we said that the people are asking Moshe to speak. Yeah? Right?
Yeah.
They are scared. But we said it's already done. The 10 commandments are done. Right? What's the answer? Let's read the commandments now. Page 407, verse 20, chapter 20, the beginning. Yeah?
407. God spoke all these statements, saying, "I am Hashem your God, who has taken you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of slavery.
Yeah?
You shall not recognize the gods of others in my presence."
Okay, look at this. The first 2 commandments, in what body they are said? Who's saying them? God himself. You shall not have, I am Hashem your God, who is taking you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Yeah? Yeah? And although it says here Hashem Elokim, but Hashem is speaking. Right? And second commandment.
You shall not make yourself a carved image, nor any likeness of that which is in heaven above, or on the earth below, or on the waters beneath the earth.
Sorry. In verse 3, you shall not recognize the gods of others in my presence. Who said that? Hashem himself. The first two commandments are in first language, first person, right? We can now insert in page 413 what are the people are saying now. Yeah? The people are now hearing God, the first two commandments. Yes? And they're saying, no, stop, we are scared. There's actually a pause here. This one we should insert in the middle of the 10 commandments. The people are saying, Moshe, you must speak to us instead. Yeah? And Moshe Rabbeinu, no, what are you talking about? This is for you the best way. This is the answer. Hashem, you, God, He wants to be close to you. You have an opportunity. But the people, remember we said, very good. Hashem gave them Yishar Koyach. Because they're not ready. So all the other commandments were said through Moshe. The first two, and this is what the Gemara says. The word Torah. What is the gematria of Torah? 613. Almost. 611. Except of two. Yeah? Torah tiva lanu Moshe. Moses gave us the Torah. 611 commandments were given by Moshe. Except of two commandments were given directly from Hashem. So once the people heard those two commandments, they felt, oh my God, we're about to die. We're not ready for that. So Moshe, please you speak to us. Moses speaking, so to speak, the voice of God. The first two commandments directly from Hashem, trembling, very scary for them. They're not ready. Yeah, Moshe Rabbeinu wanted them to be ready, and in one way, and they tried, but then heard Hashem, boom, reality. Yeah, look at this. If you look carefully,
sorry, did that all take place on the third day? Hashem gave the two commandments.
Yes.
Straight after that, Moshe gave the rest.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Look, let's read the other commandments on page 409. Yeah.
You shall not make yourself a carved image, nor any likeness of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or on the waters beneath the earth. You shall not prostrate yourself to them, nor worship them. For I am Hashem your God, a jealous God, who visits the sin of fathers upon children to the third and fourth generation.
So this is part of the second commandment, verse 7. You shall not.
You shall not take the name of Hashem, your God.
Your God. It's not no more Hashem is speaking here. Yes?
Yeah.
Right? And look at this. Although the first commandment, it's really interesting. The first two commandments, although it says Hanuchi Hashem Elokecha, yeah? And the second one, Lo Yelecha Elohim Acherim, all the rest always says Hashem Elokecha, Hashem Elokecha. There's kind of a combination of Hashem and Elohim. Yeah? There's no other commandment who says Elohim. Just Elohim. All the other commandments are kind of a combination of Hashem Elohim because it's been said through the voice of Moshe. Moshe gave the commandments because the people are not ready. Right? So now go back maybe and solve the entire mystery. Is why the Torah then wrote it like that. Why the Torah did not put it separately, Elohim and Hashem separately. It's because maybe this is the feeling that we need to have. Hold both. Yes, hold both. The love and the fear of God has to come hand in hand. Yeah, it's all really intertwined. But if you try to figure out this is the whole story is one story, it's very difficult. It's very confusing. Yeah. Although we want to be as Elohim and ready and come close as much as we can to the mountain, the reality is that we need Hashem. And it is really also reminding us what? The beginning of the Torah. What is the beginning of the Torah? What is the word? What is the name of God in chapter 1? Elohim. Bereshit bara Elohim. The whole chapter 1 of Bereshit, of Genesis, is all the name of Elohim. And then you're coming to chapter 2. Yeah, correct. Very good, Sarah. Look at this if you want to have a look. Page 4. Yes? Then beginning of chapter 2, or verse 4, אלה תולדות שמיים בארץ בעיברם, ויום ברוא השם, השם אלוהים ארץ ושמיים. These are the products, page 11. These are the products of the heaven and the earth when they were created on the day that Hashem God, suddenly there is a combination because the world is not ready to be created in the name of God, in the strict judgment attribute. And Hashem had to combine with the merciful judgment and create the world in kind of a more gentle way that suits to the people. And when the people are sitting in the Torah, as the Gemara says, they're coming to the moment of basically Adam HaRishon, the first man before the sin. They're coming to a place of heaven, of creation. This is why Hashem and Elohim is really symbolically as the creation, the same story of creation. So there's one story. Hashem, God created the world, Elohim created the world, but it's actually not viable. It's not sustainable for the people. They need the attribute of mercy in order to live in this world. Otherwise, it's only for the tzaddikim.
In the time of Mashiach, what happens to the attribute of mercy, Hashem?
Yeah, in the time of Mashiach, will be more capable of living that strict measure of God. Yeah, but we probably still have to have the attribute of mercy. But the closer we come to God, we can live in that total truth. But so in the middle, we must have the attribute of Hashem, which basically bring it down to earth, and us coming slowly and learning to come closer to God. Yeah, I hope I didn't confuse you too much.
Question, Rabbi.
Please.
Why are the Ten Commandments sung differently in Shul than when they're read in